Mabi rainforest is a type of rainforest that grows primarily on basaltic soil and contains an uneven canopy as well as deciduous trees, making it unique from other rainforest types. This rainforest is home to its namesake Mabi, or Lumholtz tree kangaroo, as well as endangered species like the spectacled flying fox and southern cassowary, making Mabi rainforest an important source of biodiversity.
Mabi rainforest used to be widespread on the Atherton tablelands, but it's estimated that less than 1,050 hectares remain, most of which is split into small fragments due to deforestation for agriculture, as well as logging for expensive lumber. Some sites that remain unexplored as possible locations for Mabi restoration efforts are cinder cones. These are basaltic mounds formed by volcanic activity on the tablelands thousands of years ago, and were covered in Mabi rainforests before most were cleared. Mabi rainforest has been restored at other locations on the tablelands, but never on cinder cones due to their steep slopes and high amount of exposure.
Hello. So in 2023, the School for Field Studies, in particular the Center for Rainforest Study, got the opportunity to restore Mabi rainforest on one of the cinder cone volcanoes here on the Atherton tablelands. In April 2024, the first planting occurred, and now this report will actually evaluate how changes have occurred since April 2024 with regard to the plant growth and soil health. The report will also make some recommendations with respect to future restoration processes on this particular cinder cone, and will also address some of the specific challenges we have which are linked with the dry seasons here in this part of the wet tropics, which can be very profound and pose a risk to the seedlings to keep growing.
One difficulty that past researchers tried to overcome on the cinder cone was water availability. Because the slope is so steep, water runs down very easily, and during the dry season that's very important because it rains so little. To attempt to overcome this, past researchers tried to apply syntropic farming principles to keep soil moist through the dry season. To test if syntropic farming practices would benefit plant growth on the cinder cone, plots A, C, F, and H were planted with 25 banana seedlings each. Researchers did this based on recommendations of the syntropic benefits of shading and water retention that bananas provide.
Bananas, depending on what environment you're in, they're essential in retaining water when there's lots of water around, retain water within their trunks. And so then we utilize that because they're like a massive sponge in the trunk. When you cut it, it's just full of massive amount of water. We cut that down in the dry season, put it down on the ground, and then that slowly releases the water onto the surface all around the trees while still keeping everything covered.
We found that the banana plants grew very little. Only 16 of the original 100 plants survived, and none of them have grown over 15 centimeters in height. This means that they're not performing their syntropic function, which is why there's almost no difference between Mabi seedling growth and soil moisture between banana and non-banana plots. We believe that future plantings should take a different approach to testing syntropic farming principles by allowing banana plants to mature and establish themselves before planting Mabi forest seedlings, so the shade and water benefits they provide will have a more effective impact.
Because the bananas planted during the first planting didn't provide the benefits we thought they would, we recommend the installation of an irrigation system, like a drip system, on the cinder cone. During the dry season, where there's little to no rain at the cinder cone, each plant had to be watered by hand, which is not only time, but labor intensive. It also risks disturbing the plants. Irrigation would allow the plants to be watered consistently through the dry season, which could improve seedling growth and survival rates. We also compared the growth of each of the 9 species that were planted on the cinder cone, only one of which showed considerable growth, while the other 8 showed very little growth or died off. One possible reason for these results was our study took place only 7 months after the original planting. In addition to the fact that very little time has passed, some of our observations could be due to seasonal variation, the fact that we measured in the dry season versus the wet. We believe that we should wait until the plants have been able to grow for 1 year before drawing conclusions, but if the results are similar 6 months from now, future plantings may want to focus on cultivating more drought-resistant pioneer species. One family that we could look to for good pioneer species on the cinder cone would be Euphorbiaceae, due to the family having generally fast-growing species that are also resistant to drought. An example species would be the bleeding heart plant, which is a strong pioneer plant in the Euphorbiaceae family and is a known Mabi species.
Even though growth on the cinder cone has been slow, we still have hope that there will be some success from this planting, as 245 of the original 288 seedlings are still alive. Soil conditions and nutrients have also improved, which provides hope that conditions are improving as we learn how to put Mabi rainforest back on cinder cones.